Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division for the Maple Bay and the Hot Shots 9-hole Cup with various wind here for you all in Golf Clash. Before we take a closer look, make sure that you do hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed the video. Also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. You can get the information for every shot that I do take in this playthrough by looking at the info box on the right hand side here on the screen. Good to get the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also a ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Have in mind that those are all suggestions and you don't have to follow it if you don't want to, but there's always a plan behind it. Last but not least, improve your game today by getting our exclusive tour text guides and or the ultimate tournament guides by scanning the QR code that is on the left side here on the screen, or you go directly to your browser and type in patreon.com/golfclashhomie. Now let's go to hole number 1. On hole number 1, playing over the right side is most definitely going to be the best thing to do. And the reason I think that is because it will leave you a short iron instead of a long iron towards the pin. Obviously, if you do not want to take any risk with all the bunkers and stuff like that, you can play over the left, which will give you an easier drive, but the second shot will be tougher. So that is something you're going to have to decide for yourself. One right spin and a little bit of top spin to make sure that we are bouncing over the sand and not getting stuck into the sand. Because getting stuck into the sand, that's going to be a problem, because then we're going to have a much harder time to lock in even the birdie, which obviously is not something we can miss on already at the first hole. Maximum distance with a 10% over adjustment. I'm using a little bit of curl to the right. You can see that the ball comes down very nicely and are now on the fairway more to the left when it comes to looking at the center. Second shot, we are playing with a short iron towards the pin. Here, if you do have a good ball guideline with your thorn, such as a thorn level 8 or better, you can use a max backspin shot and go past the pin and let the ball roll back. But as I do not really have a good ball guideline, I'm not gonna guess with that. I'm gonna guess by going directly at the pin. Using one right spin, trying to avoid the mound that is there on the right hand side. And we are going to go directly at the pin, at least what it looks like. The hard part is with lower level clubs, as I always say, and I think this is definitely something that is tough in Rookie Division when you play with these type of levels of clubs, is that you have to really make a proper guess, or like a good guess, if you're gonna have a chance of getting this ball in the hole. Bounces on the fairway up towards the pin, but we are aiming short, which is hard to know, but we know that for the next time. And sure, it's a tap-in birdie, but we do want to start off with an eagle on hole 1. Hole number 2 is a tough par 5, and here I would recommend to play with the quarterback. And I'm playing this one from NMT, and then moving one ring to the right. I'm using 3 top spin and 2 left spin to have the ball guideline to point straight down the fairway into that little gap, not gap, but into the more narrow part of the fairway at the top. Maximum distance with a 20% over adjustment, then try to hit perfect. I'm using a Titan ball here to ensure that if I would be rolling short, I will still have enough power on the second shot to be able to attack the pin. I would strongly advise you to not try to blast this ball over the water, because that will most likely not work. And even if you would manage to do that, you will still have the same type of distance towards the pin as you would have otherwise. And that's, I mean, then it just becomes a stupid decision. Second shot, either play with a sniper level 8 or better, and I don't have sniper level 8 or better here, or you do play with a horizon to give yourself the power, but still having a decent ball guideline. Using 1.5 bar topspin, you can see that I'm playing, 1.8 topspin, and you can see that I'm playing a very aggressive line here, meaning that I'm looking to have the second bounce into the rough to roll up towards the pin. And frankly, this is the only way to drop this shot from distance here. So if you're not interested in attacking for the albatross, use the more wider fairway on the right, use backspin and curl it onto the green to give yourself a safe eagle. But here in this playthrough, I wanted to have every hole to give at least a look at the albatross, even though it might not be dropping in this specific video. They will bounce into rough, the ball rolls out, we're coming with a very good speed, just being a little bit too much to the right there, which is obviously very unfortunate here on hole number 2. A tough one to get an albatross on, but with the shot already displayed, it is makeable. For hole number 3, we're going to go for a rough bump. We're going to go very aggressive here because I do believe that this is going to be our best chance for an hole-in-one. Obviously, if you are not interested in taking any risk, even though the reward is big, then you can bounce on the fairway on the left and do just a normal tour play way of going towards the green. You're bouncing on the fairway up towards the pin, but now we're using 2 left spin and a little bit of top spin to get the ball guideline to be just short of pin. One thing to have in mind though is when you do play with lower level clubs is that you have to leave it short, otherwise you will roll too hot and you won't be dropping that shot because you do not have a fully developed ball guideline. Medium distance with a 20% over adjustment here for this shot. It bounces into the rough, rolls out onto the green, a little bit under adjusted, but with a decent speed. So a little bit more in adjustment, we will be having a good shot getting that one to drop on hole number 3. For hole number 4, you will see 2 options here. One where we do lay up, as we do have a headwind, which we're gonna do in headwind and crosswind. If we do have a tailwind, we can actually go for the be around the green area, which also will be displayed here in this playthrough. Maximum distance plus 10 is the adjustment of T. I'm using 4.5 bar top spin and 2 left spin. The goal is to either clip the rough on the other side of the bunker or to not clip the rough at all and bounce over all the parts of it. But when having 4.5 bar top spin, it's going to be difficult to always avoid the rough, especially when we do play in headwind. Second shot, we're playing with a long iron. Here I would say it's either to play with a less powered ball from the beginning, such as a power 1 or even a power 0 ball if you do want to play with a sniper. But as we do have a rough bump, which will allow us, even with lower level long irons, to have a decent ball guideline, then I would still push it for a long iron instead, because it's going to be easier to play with a long iron than what it will be to play with a sniper. 5% elevation, true club distance. Now we are very close to max, so I will be using maximum distance numbers. So you can see there a roll into the green. We unfortunately do not have speed enough to get the ball to roll towards the hole. But no matter what though, if we lay up, we will have a good chance for a drop if we do play the rough bump. But we all want to get closer to green, obviously. So if we do have the wind for it, then I will show you next in the video what we're gonna do. So after searching for a tailwind for a long time in practice, I got to stay with a headwind. And it's interesting to see that even with a headwind here, we can actually reach over to the green area with a power 5 ball. It is, however, though, an absolute must to have a power 5 ball, I would say, in all winds besides tailwind. If you do have a tailwind, a power 3 ball could be okay. You will still have to play with some overpower. But I think the brilliant part with a power 5 ball here is that you can actually then stretch out and make a better judgment call on how much overpower you will have to use in the specific type of wind directions, as you will then be able to see the first bounce into the rough and count how many rings you're into overpower and stuff like that. Maximum distance plus 10 is the adjustment, and be prepared to always use overpower. But think about this, in the worst case scenario, if you're avoiding the water, which you need to make sure that you use enough overpower to do, then you are going to be in the rough or in the sand as a worst case, which still will be very close to green, which will still be giving you a good chance for a drop, but you will have a birdie at a minimum on your scorecard. So if the wind allows and you have the ball, you have the club, I would definitely recommend to go for it instead of having to lay up. But obviously you are the one that makes the decision for what is best for you. For hole number 5, here I would say that it's going to be crucial to push this drive hard if we do have headwind. Meaning with that is that I would like to go with max overpower here to land on the fairway island on the left, because if you are laying up on the right hand side, you have no chance whatsoever to reach for the green in two, and then that's just going to be a waste of ball and waste of your time. So max overpower with half a ball of left curl, getting it over to the pad. We do want to reach to be as close to the rough line possible, because the closer we are, the better it's going to be on the second shot. Those that do have the possibility to play with a berserker ball, please do that, because then you will have power 5 and then you will have a much easier second shot. Now, as we do have headwind and I'm playing with sniper, even though sniper is in an okay level, as level 7 for being a rookie level account, you can still see that I couldn't really reach towards the green anyway, or not even doing a rough bump. So what I would recommend is to play with a wood club, if with a wood club that do have more power, such as the big dog or even the cataclysm, if that is a club that you do possess. Because now with the sniper, I'm playing myself safely up, and the goal was to use the hill to fall back towards the pin for a simple putt. But even if I am there on the fringe, it's still going to be a simple way of getting the eagle. What to have in mind here is that this is a display of headwind. If we do have a tailwind or a crosswind, obviously the second shot will be much easier and it will give you a look for the albatross. Unfortunately, I do not have a video for that, but it's something to be worth having in mind. So this is only going to be an eagle and only if you do not have the possibility to play with a power 5 ball, nor that you do have the clubs to reach on the second shot. For hole number 6, we're gonna play with our sniper and a navigator ball, and we're gonna go a rough bump. And here I want to say that playing a rough bump here is going to be such a massive advantage compared to playing any other type of play here, because this green is very weird. So if you do get too high up the green, even if you fall down in the direction of the pin, you will come in too hot and you will bounce out. So you're going to either have to bounce on a way on the fairway further back that will still have a lot of rough and sand to clear, that is going to then still have the speed to be not fast enough to get a drop. So in this video here now, I'm going for a rough bump with the ball guideline to the hole, and using the sniper here allows me to play with a very good ball guideline, also with a good accuracy, which means that hitting a great ball is not going to have any danger with it. I'm playing medium distance plus 20, and in the video I would recommend to play minimum distance plus a 20 here, because we are closer to the minimum distance line, and then it wouldn't be as over adjusted as it is in the video. Good chance, in my opinion, on hole number 6. For hole number 7, we are going to play with our extra mile or any other driver that gives us a lot of power. So let's say like this, we're gonna play with the driver that gives us the most power possible. Now 2 left spin and a little bit of top spin, and the goal here is to be as close to the rough line at the top possible. Maximum distance and plus 10. I'm also using a little bit more than half a ball of left curl. You can see we bounce on the fairway, and we now let the ball roll up to the top right corner of the fairway. And this is perfect because now we do have a short line towards the pin. For the second shot, we're playing with our thorn, and the reason I want to play with the thorn is because even in a low level, we do have enough backspin to allow us to play over the bunker. Because playing with a hornet or with other short irons, we do have a risk of having too little backspin for playing over the bunker, and that would be stupid because then we would lose out on an opportunity here. 10% elevation with true club distance, meaning check where maximum distance are and where minimum distance are, and then make your call. A dead center for a lovely eagle on hole number 7, which I do believe is going to be a very good chance regardless what wind you have off tee. Hole number 8 is probably the toughest of the par 3s to get an hole-in-one on. The reason for that is the massive elevation drop that we're having here, and also having then to play with long irons such as a backbone that do not really have a good ball guideline to follow, which is going to have to be a big guesswork for us all in in trying to look at, all right, how will the ball roll out? It's very difficult to know with the ball guideline we have on the lower levels. So if you do have a Grizzly level 7 or better, which has 4.5 ball guideline, I strongly advise you to play with that one, because the ball guideline will be an essential part of getting a hole-in-one in a consistent way on hole 8. Maximum distance with a 35% elevation, which is the correct numbers here. It's just that we need to aim correctly, which is the reason why we miss on the left hand side. Quasar ball or a navigator is the thing that is enough on hole 8. Hole number 9, and we're gonna play with our quarterback. The reason we want to do that is because power is not that necessary, but what's necessary is curl and also good accuracy, because if we do not have a good accuracy, a great ball might be danger here as we're playing down the right hand side. Adjustment is no elevation and it's maximum distance. I'm using all the right spin that I can. I'm also using 3 bars of top spin. More or less, what can we call that one? We can call that 0.7 ball of a curl outside the adjustment range to the right, and we're bouncing on the fairway, and you can still see that we could need maybe a little bit more curl. There is room, obviously, but I would say a little bit more curl would actually be good. Now we do have a position that is going to require a club with some decent power. I would say if you do have the sniper level 9 or better, always play with a sniper. But if you do not have that, then I would strongly recommend to play with the Horizon instead, to give ourselves a decent ball guideline, but also the power to be able to reach to the spot that we are intended to do without having to use overpower, which obviously is going to be a tricky thing. Maximum distance plus 10, and then I'm centering the ball and doing my best to hit. Perfect. Obviously, an albatross is never going to be easy to get, but I definitely believe that there is a possibility to drop here. What has to be said though is that hole 9 has always been a difficult hole in terms of getting the speed enough to roll the ball towards the pin without coming in too hot, and that will be the battle for you and your opponents once you play it in the tournament. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Rookie Division with various wins for the Maple Bay and the Hot Shots 9-hole Cup. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit thumbs up. You can scan the QR code here on the screen or go directly to patreon.com/golfclashtommy to get the 9-hole Cup content with the ultimate tournament guides, the best guides on the market. Thank you once again for watching, and a good luck in your Golf Clash game.